galaxy far, far away, where a young boy has traveled from his home world and learned the arts of the Force from the greatest Jedi ever known. With his new power, he has become a Jedi Knight and, and has approached to face his father and the ruthless Emperor. This is the review of Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, with your host, Blackwing 2040.
Hey guys, Blackwing 2040 here, and well, this is our last review of our journey to the Force Awakens, and we are going to be reviewing the last and my favorite Star Wars movie of the original trilogies, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And I gotta say, and I'll explain why this is my all-time favorite Star Wars movie in the original trilogy, because pretty much Luke is the bomb in this movie. That's pretty much it. Ever since I watched this movie, Luke has been like the heavy hitter of this entire film. So, cause we see Luke mature from when he was just, a teenager, kind of like acting as a teenager in Episode 4, A New Hope. And then as he matured on to Episode 6, he's just like a full-grown man. Like, he does what he's supposed to do. He does what he wants. That's just, and he's a Jedi now, pretty much. So the episode begins with Darth Vader returning to a Death Star that's under construction, and he tells the Imperial forces that the Emperor will be arriving soon to see the progress. So in this film we get our full appearance of what the Emperor really looks like, even though in Episode 5 we saw like a little hologram of his face. So on the planet Tatooine, you have the rebels trying to rescue Han Solo from the clutches of Jabba the Hutt. So C-3PO and R2-D2 get into Jabba's palace, and of course they're forced to work for Jabba. And let me just say something about Jabba's palace. Just, oh my gosh, it's just filled with aliens. Jabba himself is just disgusting. Just the way he eats, the way he looks, and the company that he has around in that place. It's just all the people that are in his palace, they even sleep there. I'm like, what is this place supposed to hold anyway? But anyway, so this whole plan is supposed to this is pretty much a rescue mission, and Leia comes in disguised as a bounty hunter and to bring in Chewie, like, arrested because Han's still frozen in carbonite. And Leia disguises herself as a bounty hunter, and she brings in Chewbacca so she can get a reward. And Chewie gets put into a prison cell. So while everyone is like asleep and everything, Leia was able to unfreeze Han from the carbonite, and they have a little brief kissy moment. And then Jabba realizes that Han has been freed, and this is where things turn for the worse. Han gets put into a prison cell, and Leia has now become Jabba's personal little female lover. And now this is where the fanboys and fanboys go nuts just for seeing Princess Leia in a bikini. Just ugh. But anyway, hopefully Luke comes to the rescue, and Jabba traps him into a pit where they hold a Rancor who eats prisoners. Jabba puts these, of course, Jabba has these girls that he has in chains, and if he doesn't like them, he puts them in the pit, and the Rancor eats them. It's just crazy what goes on in that palace. So Luke was able to kill the Rancor by dropping a door on which it came out of, on top of his head. So Luke was able to stop the thing with ease without the use of a lightsaber. So then Jabba then has Luke, Han, and Chewie fly all the way to the Sarlacc pit for them to be executed. And so this is Luke's moment of shining right here. R2 throws him his lightsaber, and he just takes out all the guards, all of them by himself, while Han accidentally not hits Boba Fett's jetpack, and then Boba Fett falls into the Sarlacc pit and gets eaten. But Luke is just tearing through the guards like non-stop, and so Leia breaks free of her captivity and she strangles Jabba to death. And then they're free. They destroy the ship that Jabba was on, and then everything is done. They leave that horrible planet forever. And so Leia and Han go to meet with the rebels, while Luke goes to Dagobah to meet with Yoda again. Yoda told Luke that he cannot be a Jedi until he confronts Vader one more time and hopefully win. And after that, Yoda dies and becomes one with the Force, and then he runs into Ben Kenobi again because Luke was wondering why Ben lied to him, because Darth Vader said, "Luke, I am your father." Ben told him that Anakin was his Padawan, and that he turned to the dark side. He got corrupted by the dark side of the Force, and then he said, "The man that you know as Anakin Skywalker was no more." And so Luke finally knows what he has to do. He has to face his father once again, or do what he must do, try to bring him back to the light side. Alright, but anyway, the Emperor arrives on the Death Star, and he tells Darth Vader that he senses that he wants to search for Luke again, and he accepts that Luke is his son. And so he told him, "Patience, my friend. Soon, young Skywalker will return to the dark side." It's just the way the Emperor drops his lips and he speaks. It's just an old hag. Just like, "I sense you search to continue your search for young Skywalker." It's just hilarious. But anyway, the rebels were able to steal. Alright, so the rebels know that the Death Star is being reconstructed, so they have to destroy the Death Star again. So they were able to steal an Imperial shuttle, and they find out that the Death Star that's under construction is being guarded by a shield. The shield generator is on the planet Endor. So Han, Luke, and Leia take some ground troops onto Endor and destroy the shield generator, and Lando will lead a fleet of rebel troops to destroy the Death Star. So on the planet Endor, they run into some scout troopers, and they have this huge chasing with the speeders, which is probably the coolest moment in the entire film. It was just so perfectly well done. And then Leia meets these small furry little creatures. I know most people don't like these guys, the Ewoks, and they're the inhabitants on the planet Endor. And so Luke and Han go searching for Leia, and turns out they run into Leia, and the Ewoks kidnap Luke, Han, 3PO, and R2. But the Ewoks think C-3PO as a god of some sort. And so C-3PO tends to the Ewoks, and he has Luke, Han, not serve them, but untied, and they consider them as allies. So Luke tells Leia that she is his sister, and that she also has the power of the Force, but she doesn't know it yet, but she kind of accepts it. So Luke leaves into the night searching for Darth Vader, and as soon as Darth Vader arrives, he surrenders himself to Darth Vader, and he also accepts that Darth Vader is his father. And Darth Vader told Luke that soon the Emperor will be his new master, and then they travel into the Death Star, into the Emperor's throne room. And this is where it starts to get good. This is where this excitement starts to kick in. So Han, Leia, and the Ewoks find the base where the shield generator is being held, but it turns out it's a trap, And also in space, the fleet battle with the rebel troops. They run into an army of TIE fighters and Star Destroyers. So they had to hold off the TIE fighters until and Leia destroy the shield generator. While Luke and Darth Vader are in the Emperor's throne room, and the Emperor is trying to persuade Luke to join the dark side because he has his lightsaber. He says, "Do it, strike me down, I am unarmed, and your journey to the dark side will be complete." Because he wants Luke to join the dark side. That's the point. And so the Ewoks were able to get the drop on the clone troopers and the other Imperial forces, and Han destroys the shield generator, and Lando and the other rebel forces were able to fly into the Death Star and try to destroy it. While in the Emperor's throne room, Luke and Darth Vader engage in one final epic lightsaber duel, and this is like my favorite lightsaber duel in all Star Wars history. Just this one, because it's just the epic battle between the dark side and the light side. And Luke, in anger, says, was almost about to kill Vader because Darth Vader finds out that Leia is his sister, and he said if he doesn't join the dark side, then she will. And so Luke, in all anger, just goes swinging lightsaber strike after strike after strike at Vader, cuts his arm off, and then the Emperor says, "Join me," and then Luke denies, and then after that the Emperor almost decides to kill Luke with Force lightning, and it's just so well done. It's just perfect. And before the Emperor dies, there's this moment where Darth Vader's looking at the Emperor and Luke saying, "What should I do?" And of course he grabs the Emperor and throws him down this huge pit, and he dies. But also, in case you guys didn't hear, if you guys don't notice this, but in this right moment where Darth Vader's looking back and forth at Luke and the Emperor, he says, "No, no." And that surprised me, because all my years of watching Return of the Jedi, I have never heard Darth Vader say that at all. And so Luke and Vader are about to leave the Death Star, but Vader tells Luke to take his mask off because he wants to see Luke with his own eyes. And so he tells Luke that he was right about him all along, and then he dies right there. And so back with the fleet, Lando was able to enter the Death Star, destroy it, and the rebels win once again. And after that, Luke burns Darth Vader's body, and I should stop calling him Darth Vader. Anakin returns and becomes one with the Force. And after that, there's this huge celebration across the galaxy on Tatooine, Coruscant, Naboo. Even when the screen goes to Naboo, during the huge celebration, you can hear a certain someone saying, "We saw free." If you guys don't know that, then you guys already know who that is. And after that, it's just a happy ending. So I give this film a 4.5 out of 5. I'm not being a crazy fanboy just to give it a plain 5 out of 5. I'm being real here. 4.5 out of 5. Because I know there's some things that's perfect film, but in my mind, there's no such thing as perfect films. Because some films have flaws. A lot. Except for Star Wars. Well, Star Wars has flaws. But anyway, that was our journey to The Force Awakens. We did it, guys. We covered all 6 Star Wars films. So stay tuned next week where I review the most anticipated film of this year, Star Wars The Force Awakens. So I am so excited to see this film. You do not understand. I got my Kylo Ren shirt right here. I am ready to go next Friday. I am so ready. So stay tuned for that review. But until then, I am Vengeance. I am Darkness. I am Blackwing. And may the Force be with you.